What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise Postgame show presented by Sleeper. Today, the Portland Trail Blazers get their worst loss of the year as they fall to the Washington Wizards 115 to 111. The Blazers were brutal from behind the free throw line, brutal in the turnover department, and the Wizards snap a 9-game losing streak as the Blazers are now 2 games below 500, losers of 3 straight. Eric, I got used to winning. I hate losing, especially losing to the Washington Wizards of all teams. How are you doing, and what are your thoughts on what I think might be their worst loss of the entire season?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, especially when you bring Denny back, sit him out against Boston last night to make sure you get this victory tonight. And when you do that, you have to get the win. And they did not do that. Man, second straight night, missing 10 free throws. Just brutal in a close game. That comes back to haunt you. And then the 20 turnovers, man. It's understandable, I guess, at times against really good teams, like Boston last night, maybe. But against the Wizards, you're just super sloppy with the ball and allow them to create a lot of offense based on those turnovers. And those two things, man, really kill you in a close game.
The Blazers have beaten themselves the past couple of games, in my opinion. Just with the sloppiness, not shooting well from the free throw line, some of the mistakes, some of the decision making, and this is a worse Wizards team than the roster the Blazers put out there. The Blazers were the more talented, better team. Normally, if you're the more talented and better team, especially going up against one of the worst teams in the league that consistently lose almost every game, they've lost 9 in a row before this one, you kind of got to do some things very wrong to lose games. You got to make mistakes, and the Blazers made mistakes all game long. They just needed a clean game in this one in order to get a win, and they were incredibly sloppy. Incredibly sloppy. The turnovers are back. And it's quite frustrating. In the turnover department, Denny Avdia had 6. I believe in the first half they removed one, so maybe the 6th one was in the second half. He was back. He didn't have his sharpest game. I think you can kind of give him a little bit of leeway given that he was hurt, came back for a game and a half, then got hurt again, so maybe he's a little bit rusty. But still, 6 turnovers. You would like for Denny to be sharper. And then you have 3 turnovers from Shaden Sharp. 2 assists. He had a really good game scoring the ball. Kind of tailed off there at the end. Also, I didn't like his shot at the end of the game. We'll talk about that. But he was good scoring the ball, but 2 assists, 3 turnovers for Sharp. You have Donovan Clingan had 2 turnovers. Tamani only had 1 to his credit. Drew Holiday had 3 turnovers. He had 5 assists with it, but 3 turnovers for Drew. So you got Denny, Drew, and Sharp combining for 12 turnovers. Then off the bench, Ryan Repair had 2 in 19 minutes. Caleb Love had a turnover. Young Hansen had a turnover. Jeremy Grant had a turnover. Just basically everybody at some point in this game made a sloppy mistake outside of City Sissoko, who basically did absolutely nothing in his 15 minutes. But nothing was better than turning over the ball, I guess. So just really frustrated with how sloppy this team was. This is the 3rd game in a row where I feel like they have not come in mentally sharp. While they had a better first quarter tonight than they did the last couple of first quarters where they had combined 23 points in the previous 2 first quarters before this game. They had 28, so they outscored their last 2 first quarters in this singular first quarter. But in the second quarter, they lose that 34-25. They give up a 16-0 run. They got up 7, and it was like, okay, yeah, this is the Wizards. It was almost like this was already a trap game, but then they get up 7, 38-31, and let the Wizards rattle off a 16-0 run. It was almost like they got up 7 and got comfortable and then got punched in the mouth multiple times, and then they were trying to play essentially catch-up all game. They did catch up there in the second half, built a 2-possession lead, but this was a ball game. And then they did not make the plays or get the stops down the stretch that they needed to get. I just haven't liked the energy and the mental approach to games. I know that's kind of vague, but there's no way a team this bad should be going on a 16-0 run against you. And you've seen it the first quarters, the previous two games where this team was clearly not ready to come out and play on the offensive end. 115 given up to the Wizards, would have liked to have held them to less than that. So that was disappointing. Just really disappointed with a team that 4 streams ago, I came out and said, for the first time in a while, this is a good basketball team. And then they've immediately lost 3 straight. Why did I ever say that? I don't know. Because it's kind of been this way throughout history. Like, once the team starts to have some success and we feel good, then it's like, oh, let's go lose to the Wizards. Let's go disappoint our fan base. It's almost like they get comfortable once they start getting a little bit of success, winning some games. And we've talked about that plenty of times. And would you look at that? We have a great stretch. We're 500. We're above 500 for the first time in the second half of the year since 2021, and immediately lose 3 straight, capping it off with losing to the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be my talking point too, is the Blazers have to play a certain way to win games, even against crappy teams. And it has to be maximal effort. It has to be taking care of the ball and not doing stupid things, not doing careless things like missing free throws and turning the ball over. And without that, they really don't have that much to hang their hat on. Like, it looks bad when they're not taking care of the ball and when they're not focused and stuff. So, in my opinion, this has been a theme for the Blazers under multiple coaches, multiple years doing this. It's like they get to a point where they're not good, but they think they're good enough to walk into an arena like at Washington and win a game just by showing up. And it's the NBA. They are not a good enough team to cakewalk through a game like this and just pull it out on the end or flip that switch. And it really seems like there is a lot of times when they, like you said, get comfortable or get full of themselves and then don't bring that same fire that led to them winning so many games out of, I think it was 10 out of 13 or whatever it was. And it's this like roller coaster ride. Like, oh, now we suck again. We're not going to make the play-in, blah blah blah. And like, just a week ago, it was like, oh, we're going to get the 6th seed, screw the play-in, right? But it's tough, man, especially when you're missing free throws, and that's just a killer because it's a much different game at the end situationally.
Yeah.
If we just make a normal percentage of free throws, so that's a killer, and then the careless turnovers doom the Blazers once again.
Yeah, man. I'll pull up the team stats in a second. Thank you for joining us, even though we're going live a little bit later after the game. I was hoping this game would at least go into overtime on that final possession, and the stream wouldn't be as late, and we would have had a chance to win. But like, let's discuss like plays down the stretch, if you have any, that really stood out to you, because this was a close game down the stretch. And then I do want to talk about kind of the strategy by just the coaching staff, but then also Shea just like taking the worst possible shot, in my opinion, that he could take in that situation. But also just running an ISO when you're down 2 with 7 seconds left, whatever it was when they inbounded. That final possession kind of bothered me in a couple different areas. But was there any plays down the stretch that you want to discuss before we get to that, before we get to the team stats, before we get to the players?
I'm trying to remember what happened before the 2. I just rewatched it too, but the 2 Shaden shots. Tori, I remember thinking this during the game on those last 2. I don't recall being upset or whatever about a possession before that. Like, Jeremy missed a 3, I think, late. Him and Drew and Donovan combined for 0 for 12 from 3. That certainly didn't help. But I've thought those last two plays, hey, we got the ball in at least, right?
Yeah,
That's an
it's
improvement,
sad.
right?
It's sad how low it's gotten in terms of late game execution offensively, where we're just happy we got the ball in.
Right. But no, I mean, Shaden took a couple ridiculously tough mid-range shots a minute or two before those last two.
He also made a three and made a shot at the rim.
Yeah.
This is going to be my theme for Shaden Sharp is like at the rim, great. Behind the 3-point arc, he's kind of like steadily, even though it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, he's kind of like that roller coaster's going up from the 3-point line, right? You take out the first 4 games that Trevin hates, and he's shooting like 36% from 3. And he's a great finisher at the rim. The mid-range stuff is what I've been talking about lately. The mid-range stuff has not particularly been efficient for him, and in that final stretch, that was exactly what played out.
Yeah, unfortunately. The problem is, I mean, like I said, Jeremy wasn't doing anything. Drew was pretty brutal. What was he, 2 for 14 from the field or something like that? Including missing
he was awful.
a key technical free throw late in the game that really hurt to not get that point. And then, but yeah, it kind of sucks because Sharp had a really efficient, good game scoring the ball. It's just I don't know. Denny obviously was not. I mean, when did he come back in the game? What, like 4 minutes left or something like that? It seemed like he was. At one point, I was wondering if he wasn't going to come back in because maybe he tweaked his back again or wasn't feeling 100%. But obviously, he wasn't moving. I mean, he was fine at points in this game, but he obviously wasn't capable of carrying a team like he normally is. So his back was obviously affecting him a little bit. Or like you said, maybe it's just being rusty from missing 5 out of 7. But so I don't know. I mean, like Klingon was getting offensive rebounds like crazy. So Kamara got a tap out on one of Shaden's misses. So we got the possession back, and then Klingon got an offensive rebound on one of them too. So I guess 2 out of the 4 bad shots, we got the ball back at least. There's little things too. I forgot how much time was left, but it was sometime in the 4th quarter. Donovan gets an offensive rebound and gets tied up, and we have a jump ball situation. And City Sissoko, what was he doing? He just like grabs, I forgot who it was, Bub Carrington or somebody. He just like grabs him and gets a foul on a jump ball situation. Yeah. And we've talked about his dumb fouls all year. It's just like, and we're in the bonus then the rest of the way of that quarter. It's just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, how do you foul someone on a jump ball? Like before the ball's even like tipped to someone? Like, dude, come on. And so it's little crap like that just is playing this team. And man, it's just, I don't know what to do tonight because, like I said, Drew wasn't really creating or scoring. Jeremy couldn't make a shot from the outside. So, like, maybe a little bit of it is just, like, Sharp felt like he had to, but it's still – those are ridiculously tough shots. And even if you're capable of hitting them, to take 3 mid-range turnaround.
Oh, no, collab cam.
But it kind of marred a really good game from him.
Yeah, you got collab cam for like 3 seconds, but I saved it. Yeah, I'll just say this, man. He had a great game. He was the best offensive player in this game. It was still one of those games where it wasn't really like he's playmaking. He had 2 assists, 3 turnovers, right? Like, we had that discussion last night. I don't need to go back into, like, the reads, passing reads, etc. Like, I talked about last night. Sometimes he has stretches where he makes tough shots and makes jumpers and can really score the ball. And I talked about wanting to see a little bit more nuance out of him as a playmaker than like some of the finishes around the rim. He's like really good finishing at the rim, but when he can't get all the way to the rim, like 10 feet, playing with a little bit more nuance, and that kind of goes into the final play. So like he had a great game. It's crazy because the whole narrative, at least for me on Twitter around Shaden Sharp, drives me absolutely crazy because I questioned that last shot. I tweeted about it. I barely tweeted this game, but I didn't really understand what that last shot was. And I said, "What is he doing?"
The 3-point one or the mid-range?
The mid-range with 9 seconds left. Like that's just a double clutch shot where the ball might have gotten deflected from 16 feet or whatever it was when he's statistically a 35% shooter from that range when you're down 2. Like I would have rather him just shot a step back fadeaway 3. At least he was making those today. He was 5 for 9 from 3 today. Great 3-point shooting night. Like I hated that shot, right? I barely tweeted all game, so I tweeted out I didn't like that shot, and I just immediately have people like, you haven't tweeted anything good about him all game. Why do you hate him? Blah, 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 blah. Like freaking out. And there's a few different things from that. One, people care way too much about what I tweet on Twitter. Two, like you can criticize one part of Sharp's game while also acknowledging that he played a great game. All right? Like, it has to be black and white for a lot of people, or, I don't know. People care way too much about my tweet. That's what I've learned so far in the last month or so. But as far as Sharp, he played great. This is why I'm prefacing what I'm about to say with this. He played great. But that final possession shows some of the stuff I was talking about 2 streams ago, where he shoots that step back double pump. Like he went up and he knew he was guarded, right? And he double pumps. Why doesn't he pump fake and try and step through, or pump fake move the ball? He can go get it back. He had time. Why is he settling for a double clutch super contested shot that I don't even know if he had his hands cleanly on the ball, that he missed badly short? Like, I don't understand the thought process there. That's something where it's like, man, all right, step back. You don't really have the ball. You can still pump fake. If they jump, draw a foul, get to the line. Or step through and score. Or step through, draw a defender, and dish it off to where the defense is helping from. Like, there was multiple options if you pump fakes. Or if you pump fake and they don't jump, that gives you time just to gather yourself, get your hands on the ball, and then shoot that shot. Like, there was no reason for him on that particular move to make the move he did and then try and immediately go into a shot that was completely smothered. And that's just where he doesn't have that nuance in the mid-range where he'll pick up the ball and like pump fake and then read the situation and slow down. And that's exactly what I was talking about 2 games ago. So that's why it's just like that was super frustrating to me, because that was like the worst possible shot. I would have rather him just shot a step back 3, because at least that would have been to win if he misses it, or a long rebound, right? Otherwise, get to the rim. There's traffic there, so I understand him not getting all the way downhill, I guess. But, like, get to the rim. You might get a foul call, like, something. Just not that. So, really did not like that last shot from him. For the people out there that don't like any Sharp criticism, that doesn't mean I don't think he had a great game, because he absolutely was a huge reason why the Blazers were in this game. He made shots, but still, like, this game was a perfect example of Sharp having a good game, but still showcasing some of the stuff that I desperately want him to improve.
Here's the problem. I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Okay, they call timeout. They go in the huddle. The play is obviously ISO for Sharp, which we should also question.
Yeah,
why they're just running a straight ISO, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all the stuff you said about what he could have countered with or tried to do all makes sense. But I don't think he's that level of player. Like he's just, okay, ISO, I have to shoot. I have to get a shot off. So like when it wasn't there, he's just thinking, oh, the play's for me, I have to shoot it. Like that's his level of like that's just the type of player he is, without like being too harsh. Like it's just, to me, it's just that simple. Like he's not, he doesn't have counters. He's not thinking, oh, if they double team me or I get extra attention, someone's open or whatever. It's just like, oh, coach called the last play for me. I'm going to shoot it. Like, and you know, maybe he's still young enough to improve that part of his game. But I think in those moments, that's a little bit on the coaching staff for not recognizing that that's what's likely going to happen if you don't tell him, no, get to the rim, don't settle for this, for a mid range here or something, or look for an open guy if you get extra attention or something. I don't know.
I mean, he shouldn't need to be told that.
I know, but like if it's like a hero ball ISO situation, I don't
He
think
could
he's
still
really.
hero ball by like pump faking that and then trying to step through and then pump fake, step through. They don't bite on it. Get to the turnaround you love so much. Like pivot, do something other than just like, oh, I'm smothered. I don't really have the ball. I'm gonna jump and double clutch it and bobble it. Like whatever that shot was.
He doesn't do that ever though. Why would he do something different than what he always does?
No, for sure. But this is like the bigger conversation. Is this is what he
Yeah.
needs to add because I think they would have been on his pump fake and he could have stepped through and gotten to a really clean shot there, and we might have won this game. And when we're like, if we're gonna hold Shaden Sharp to a high standard, it's going to be like, okay, this is the type of stuff he needs to learn, and it's okay to criticize it even though he played well, right? So, like this is a little different to me than when Denny shot that sidestep fadeaway three that he airballed by 4 feet, because that was like Denny never shoots that shot, and that was like just choosing not to drive when he drives all the time, like just plain bad decision in that regard. With Sharp, it's like the decision he made is the decision he always makes. Or maybe not always makes, but the majority of the time, like he takes a lot of tough twos. I was talking about it literally last night, and then he makes the same type of decision. Doesn't have the craftiness at all. Like, I don't know, man. There's one thing to be said for having confidence, but sometimes you can be a little overconfident, and when you're smothered in the mid range, like that's when you should pump fake, step through, kick the ball, go get it back. You have 10 seconds left. Like, just that's a learning experience for him. But also, like, there's multiple times throughout a game where he takes a tough two, even in games where he plays great because he makes a bunch of threes and finishes like a beast at the rim. Like, there's a ton of mid-range shots that he takes that could be looked at as, like, he needs to learn how to try and get something better there. So you could call that final play a learning experience, but I think a lot of the mid-range shots he takes could be quantified as a learning experience where sometimes he settles a little bit too much for those, even though he has not been efficient from there this season.
Yeah. And I mean, I agree overall with shot selection, but one piece in chat says how many seasons he's already played. You would think he knows in-game situation, especially if he's seen as a scorer. And that might be true, but I mean, how many times in his career has he had like a last second shot play called for him?
Yeah.
Like you mentioned the Denny game,
Yeah.
where that's Denny. Like usually in these situations, we're probably giving the ball to Denny. It's just tonight Denny was more of a decoy than on the ball in that situation. I mean, maybe he could have mustered up enough energy for one play, but the Wizards probably thought they were going to him maybe anyway. So I think that's where I do want to give him a little bit of leeway. It's just like hopefully he can learn from it, because I know you say it's a problem all the time, and I agree with that. But just in that one, if we're just looking at this one end of game play, I mean, he does need some experience with that, and hopefully with that experience of actually getting into those situations, he'll learn from it. We can argue whether or not he's capable of learning that much more or not, but I just think it's a little unfair to say like, oh, he's in his fourth year, he should be he should be a veteran of these late game situations right now because he hasn't really had a ton of them, even when he's been like our main scorer. We haven't been in a lot of close games or had situations where we've had a play drawn up for him at the end.
Yeah, I think like I agree with you in regards to late game situations. I think in regards to having a little bit more nuance on like just that particular situation outside of late game situations, he should have a little bit more craft by now. Like just some of the shots he settles for from the mid range. Like I there's just he's not adding stuff to his bag in that regard. You can say maybe he's added stuff to his bag trying to break down a guy from the 3-point line, but like the mid-range stuff, he should be a guy that can get to the mid-range pump fake, draw a defender off their feet, step through, like just basic kind of crafty stuff in the mid-range when you can't get all the way downhill and don't want to settle for a contested mid-range jumper. Like that's where I agree with the notion that 0-4, like he should be doing a little bit more there. He should be reading the game a little bit better than he has been. But I also agree in regards to late game situations in general, he doesn't have much experience. And that's where being a tanking team that loses a ton of games can hurt young players because they don't get a lot of experience in close games at the end of games. The Blazers have gotten, I feel like, more late game crunch time experience in the 48 games that they've played so far this year than they have in the last 3 years combined. And it's probably not quite to that level, but it feels like that, right? So that's the good thing about being competitive so far this year and staying in a lot of games. Even though this was a game they should have won because the standard is higher, it still was a late game situation to learn from and get experience in. So, it's just like normally the Blazers are the team that's supposed to win these games, not the team that's lost 9 in a row that recently started the youngest starting lineup in history. So that's where this game got really frustrating. But I just want to show you. This. Let me pull up a screen share here, if I may.
Is it going to take a second?
Nope.
Read off a comment. Okay.
Nope. Look at this shot chart. He was 1 for 5 for mid-range on a night where he shot 11 for 20.
Yeah.
He was 20% from mid-range. When he got to the rim, 4 for 5. Right? 4 for 5. He was 5 for 9 from 3. 1 for 5 from the mid-range. The thing is that adds up to 10 for 19, so I don't know where the 11th shot is. Maybe it's like right on top of one of these circles. I don't know.
It's got to be.
But like, he missed almost as many shots from the mid-range. I mean, you just look at the shots that he made. 3-point line, at the rim. He made 1 from the mid-range. He was 1 for 5. He shoots too many mid-range shots for how good of a finisher he is, and he can make tough threes. If he was missing threes, it's one thing, but he was on fire from 3 tonight. Like, he was on fire from 3 tonight. I want him shooting either more threes, or if they sell out to stop you from 3 and you're able to turn the corner, get downhill all the way to the rim because you can finish really, really well. And then if you draw multiple defenders that stop you from getting to the rim, somebody should be open. That's a pretty simple like thought process to play with that he needs to start to adopt. Because that's the thing is 3-point line, awesome today. At the rim, awesome today. Mid-range, 1 for 5, 20%. Maybe should be shooting a little less.
Yep. And there is 2 different conversations going on right now. One is just the overall theme that the mid-range is a bad shot for him compared to the other 2 shots, especially on a night like tonight when he's making both of them. And then the actual late second shot. In which one piece says, I feel like Sharp should have at least practiced late in-game situations, though. You cannot replicate the in-game experience, especially on the road, second night of a back-to-back. Yeah. Like defense, you cannot practice those. I mean, you can practice them, but like it's not like doing it in a real game. And this is where I think the biggest uh I don't know what red flag from not playing in college or whatever, because that's one thing that is really something that you can learn in college is going into like Cameron Indoor Stadium and having that whole
Yeah.
crowd jumping the whole game and just having those kind of environments where you're up against the pressure of a crowd of 10,000 people just screaming at you the whole game, and that's when you can really learn stuff. And so he didn't get that. High school, it's whatever. I mean, there are those moments in high school, but that's
But
what,
when you're
5 years
just
ago by
so
now.
much bigger and more athletic than everyone
Right.
else, it's just not
Yeah.
really something that will
So
translate to situations where you're
yeah.
not quite as physically dominant. Yeah.
And then his first couple of years with Dame, like he's not getting the I mean, he's not the guy
Yeah.
his first year or whatever. Like he's not getting the ball in those late game situations. And then this year so far, I mean, like I said, Denny's usually the guy who gets them. Denny's until this last couple of weeks has played pretty much every game or had played every game. So like it's not like we've been relying on Shaden to carry us in the games or whatever. So it is. I do believe it does. Like we do need to give him a little bit of slack on the last play or whatever, but or last two plays, I guess. The desperation three in my mind doesn't really
Yeah.
count, but
I'm not criticizing that.
so yeah, I mean, if he if he gets more opportunities to do this and the result is the same type of shot and the same like he's not trying to get to the rim or hit a three, um then we can start having that conversation, I guess, that this dude's never going to improve this, or maybe we shouldn't call a play for him in those situations. But I do think it's good to give him that experience. And like I said, I just got to hope that he takes something from it and realizes that that's just not a quality look in that situation, and that you can get to the rim and just try to draw a foul or try to, because I like the great ones will try to get to the line. Like Denny will try to get to the line in that situation. SGA, they're it's not really hunting for a foul, but like you're not afraid to go in there and get contact. And maybe a little bit with Shea is the fact that he believes like he's not getting a fair whistle when he goes inside. And so maybe in those like situations, he's afraid he's not going to get a call, but you have to put the onus on the referees. And, if enough times the last 2-minute report comes out and it says incorrect non-foul call or something, like those things will add up to eventually him hopefully getting some whistle, some level of whistle for the player he is. But I don't think you can just shy away from it because you're not getting calls very often. So hopefully he learns to absorb some contact and get to the line in those situations maybe. Although with the way we're shooting free throws, not necessarily him tonight, I think he made all his free throws, but I guess getting to the free throw line wasn't a huge priority for us these last two games when we're not making any. But in my mind, I do believe that hopefully just the fact that he's being asked to do this sometimes now, like there has to be a little bit of a learning curve, hopefully. And I'm just gonna hope it happens until it doesn't, and then we can criticize him for not ever learning from there if he doesn't. But I think we do have to give him a little bit of leeway to hopefully learn from this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my issue is just kind of like bigger issues with.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily just the final play, but it is frustrating to see somebody make the wrong decision down to when you shouldn't be in this position against a team that you're better than. Like a lot of frustration
Also,
within this game. Yeah.
like CJ, like he took a lot of mid range, right? And but he almost always would like pull up and get square, right?
Yeah.
Like he was really good at getting his body in the right position to shoot the shot. And I feel like all these shots with Shaden, especially tonight, he takes that huge step back and he's so his legs are so weak still, and he's so off balance that it's going to be really hard to ever get consistent with that until you vastly improve your strength, or you learn to, with your jumping ability, go straight up. Like, you don't have to fade away so much all the time. Like, get high in the air and shoot shoot over people instead of trying to fade away from them. And so I feel like he has to, improve his strength like we've always talked about, but it also includes balance and learning that if you shoot the mid range, you can contort your body, you can do these spin moves or fadeaways or whatever, but you have to learn how to get balanced and square when you shoot them. And I feel like he's never really that square when he shoots them. He's always like kind of leaning back or has his legs split way too wide or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the team stats. Brace yourself. It's not a pretty picture. 39% from the field, 37% from three, 57% from the free throw line. 13 for 23 from the free throw line, man. Look at the offensive rebounds.
That's crazy. Well, Klingon had 4 on one play.
Klingon, how many did he have for the entire game?
I know he had 13 at one point. I don't know what he finished with.
He finished with 13. He had 13 offensive rebounds.
Yeah,
kind of crazy.
Said, 4 of them were on one play.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
He ruined his field goal percentage with all those tip-ins.
Yeah,
all those tip attempts.
19 assists to 20 turnovers. Negative assist to turnover ratio. Not pretty. They attacked the rim. They got into the paint, but they didn't finish particularly well. I mean, they 37% from 3, 39% from the field. The three-point shooting wasn't an issue. But from the field, they had to have shot, 40% then? 41%. They attacked all game long. They didn't do a good job of finishing. Led to a lot of offensive rebounds. Just gross. Just the free throw shooting and the turnovers, man. They beat themselves. And that's what's really frustrating about a game like this.
Yep. And, man, when you look at it at the end of the season, you just got to hope games like this don't cost you like a home court in one of the play-in games or being in the first play-in versus the second play-in. You just got to hope that you can recover. And now you got to beat a really good Knicks team, or you basically failed this road trip 0-3. That's not good. Especially after losing that last game to the Raptors at home. But yeah, lose by 12 points off a turnovers advantage for the Wizards, and they make 5 more free throws on 2 less attempts. That's so bad. So like, we killed them on the boards, like you mentioned, killed them at points in the paint. Really controlled the boards and the paint on both ends. But man, got to make your free throws, and you can't be sloppy at the ball. And we've been talking about that all year, and that doomed them tonight.
Yep, absolutely. We're talking about home court. Not anymore. All right, that's it from the team.
I'm talking about home court in a play-in game, not the playoffs.
I mean,
if you're the 9th seed, technically
I'd rather not have home court in the first playing game. I'd rather be the 8th seed and play that on the road and then have to come back home if necessary. But
well, if you're the 7th seed, you get 2 chances.
Yeah. I mean, that would be obviously the most preferable spot in the play-in for sure. I mean, I just want to be in the 7-8 play-in, just to have a chance to get the 7th seed. I don't want to see OKC in the first round and just get absolutely slaughtered like Memphis did last year, and have Lou Dort injure somebody, because that's what Lou Dort does. He also tries to beat up teenagers. He tried to go after Jeremiah Fears today. I don't know if you saw that, Eric. But
what happened?
Oh, Dort really went after Jeremiah Fears today. Grabbed his jersey, was shoving him, and raised his fist.
He went Isaiah Stewart on him.
What'd you say?
He went Isaiah Stewart on him.
Yeah, I mean, not he was not completely out of control, because he probably could have punched him in the face if he wanted to, but also It always looks bad when you're doing that to kind of like a small, skinny rookie. You know what I mean? I know it's the NBA, but the thing is somebody on the court. If a veteran's doing that to a rookie, a veteran on the court needs to like really step in and shove the dude or something. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the
Yeah.
code. I feel like you don't go after my rook type of thing. So, but
No
yeah,
one stepped in.
I mean, the closest guy was Zion, and he's not about to like.
Right. Yeah.
It's Zion, so I mean, who on that team would be that veteran enforcer?
They got
Jordan
Looney.
Poole.
Don't they have Looney?
Yeah, I guess they have Looney, but
He
Looney I think was
is
probably
in
on the
game.
bench.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe Looney's a veteran enforcer. Fierce was literally being held back and running around the crowd. He started it. I didn't see the start, but I just saw Lou Dort going after him is what I saw. So anyway, players. Let's talk players.
Yeah.
Pick a player.
Well, let's just finish talking about Sharp.
Finish that conversation if we have anything else.
Overall, I thought he played a pretty good game. Yeah, I didn't think. I mean, we really harped on the shot selection there at the end of the game, but that's a close game. We have to talk about that. But overall, pretty efficient, 31 points. So yeah, not the worst game. I know it probably sounds like we think it was, but really he had a good game. We're just in order to take that next step like he needs to take, he's got to just be a little better.
Yep, absolutely. I wish he led us like this against Boston. We would have won.
Yeah.
Night and day difference from that game. Let's talk about Denny, his return to Washington, at least as like a player that's playing in the game. 17 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 turnovers, 6 for 14 from the field, 31 minutes. What'd you think of him? He was 2 for 6 from the free throw line as well, not pretty. So he contributed heavily to the poor free throw shooting and the turnovers and the sloppiness. What'd you think about him in his first game back?
I mean, I thought he was okay. He did seem like a little bit limited. I thought at times in the first half, I was like, "Oh, thank God he's back." But yeah, I mean, he had a couple of really bad turnovers. He had almost a third of our turnovers tonight. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think he was bad. Just yeah, 2 for 6 from the line hurts too. Shot well from 3 though. But yeah,
It wasn't the typical Denny game. Like, if this was a typical Denny game, we win. Like, there's so many things you can point to. And if this was just a little bit better, if this player was a little bit better, they win this game, right? It took a lot going wrong to lose to this team, which is how it normally is when the Wizards win. But, yeah, this was one of the games where it's like, man, I wish Denny was 100% because this was – honestly, this was one of his worst games of the year. This speaks to how good he's been that this was one of his worst games of the year, but this was definitely one of his worst games of the year.
If I'm being honest, I'm a little worried that he didn't look right physically at times. Like, see, the back is an injury. I mean, we've talked about this with Scoot. We're more pissed about the evaluations or the reevaluation dates and what they're giving us in terms of we'll be back 48 weeks versus we're going to sit Scoot out as long as it takes to get healthy. But the back is a tricky thing, man. It can flare up on you at any point. You can just turn the wrong way or jump the wrong way like you did earlier in the season, and it can flare up, and so I'm really hoping it's not the case, but watching him play today, I was like, crap, this is going to be a lingering thing, isn't it? And we're going to have to manage this the rest of the season. Maybe, hopefully, at some point he gets healthy. I think it's a good thing to have the 2 days off before the next game. So hopefully that helps a lot. But man, if we have to kind of manage a back injury from Denny the rest of the year, I think we're in a lot of trouble.
Luckily, the All-Star break's coming up. The thing is will
Yeah,
he play in the All-Star game, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm fairly positive he's going to make it. There was an article on NBA.com where like all their writers picked their All-Star teams and Denny was on every single one. So
Yeah.
I would be beyond shocked if he missed the All-Star game, but he probably
I think it'd be one of the
shouldn't
biggest
play.
snubs ever if he.
Yeah. Yeah, like statistically, definitely. And it's not like we are one of the worst teams in the league. We're almost 500. I wish I could say we're above 500. Unfortunately not. But it probably would be the best thing for him to rest. The All-Star game.
Yeah.
Unless, like, he can somehow... I think he's going to keep playing through this.
Yeah.
They have 2 days off. If he somehow gets 100% before the All-Star break, great. But if he's not... he kind of needs the rest.
Well, I want to say the Blazers don't play till Friday after the All-Star break, so at least he'd have 4 full days of rest after the All-Star break.
Yeah, but I mean, he had 6 days of rest when he was out the first time. That wasn't enough. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it, to be honest. So, which sucks to say. I would love to see him play in an All-Star game. It's going to be cool that he's going to be an All-Star, but
Like Jan Hansen.
yeah, he could play against Young Hansen, you know? All-Star game, we're going to have Young Hansen versus Denny Avdia. Wow, Denny broke out and Young really is the next Jokic. No. But shout out to Young for getting the G League nod, even though I don't know if G League production is what went into that. I
don't.
Yeah, but sure, I'll give him props for that. I thought Kevin Love should have made the rookie team, but whatever. And then you got Klingon on the. Speaking of another guy that doesn't seem to be moving right. I mean, he was a beast on the boards today, but he the first half. Let's talk about him. He just wasn't guarding Sar behind the 3-point line, and Sar can shoot. I didn't really understand it. Sar had 19 at half. I tweeted out, Sar's cooking Klingon. He had a couple of buckets on him inside and then was stepping out behind the arc, and Klingon wasn't even going out there to guard him. It's funny because then people after the game was like, what are you talking about? Like, okay, yeah, he was better in the... Sar was cooking him in the first half. Didn't quite do as well in the second half, only 10 points. I don't know what the field goal numbers were. Sar didn't have an efficient night, but that first half, there was just a stretch there where it was like, man... All right, so a couple buckets on the interior for Sar, stepping out to the 3-point line. Klingon's not going out there. Is it because of the game plan, or is it because Klingon just is not mobile enough to step out and defend out there? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it was kind of fun watching those two go at it. They had several moments where they kind of stared each other down, got in their face a little bit. It was nice to see Klingon have a little bit of edge again. That's something that's been missing. I thought Klingon did a really good job of some of the things we were criticizing him for last game, mainly protecting the rim. Mm-hmm. So that it was fun to see that be back. But yeah, it's tough to know who's at fault there when he's dropping so far back. You have to think that that's their scheme. But yeah, it's not very good again.
And what also is not very good is collab cam. Klingon was highest at -17. Yeah, it seems like he's been a negative in terms of plus minus quite frequently lately. Anyway, Go on. You were saying.
Well, it's just like, I don't know. I felt like, so around the rim, I thought this was one of his better games in a long time. Not just like blocking shots, but like affecting shots. And I feel like at times what the Wizard players were kind of scared to attack him. Um, but at the same time, if you look at SAR's numbers and it's like how good of a game was it really? So, man, but overall, I think it was an encouraging game from him, just from of some of the things we were worried about last stream.
Yeah, for sure. All right, who next?
Josu says Suns and Nets got into it. Another fight, maybe.
Suns won by 4.
Nice, Nets covered.
I've gotten all my picks right except I took the Blazers.
Mm.
My gut was saying take the Wizards too, but I was like, man, that's just the negative side of you, Tori. The negative side of you is never right, So should listen to my gut, not my heart.
Did you take the Pelicans?
Yeah.
To cover?
Yeah.
Nice.
I doubled down on. I don't remember who I doubled down on, but I think I won the double down too. So I think I'm 4-1.
I doubled down on Denver.
No, I'm 5-1. I'm 5-1. I mean, picks are going well for me this year.
I think we can guess who on the Suns. Yeah, Nolan Brooks.
Who on the Nets though?
Hopefully
Michael Porter Jr.
Hopefully.
I don't know, because they have 5 rookies, so maybe it was another vet going after another rookie. I don't know. Terrence Mann. Yeah, Dylan Brooks always getting into it. All right. Tamani?
I mean, Tamani shot great. Yeah.
16 points, 6 for 11 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, misses 2 free throws, had 9 rebounds, 4 assists. I will say, like, some of the moments of driving were looking a little better. He had that drive. I think he was on against Sar.
Yeah.
Put his shoulder into him, cleared some space, and then finished with his offhand. He's shown some flashes lately of him like creating some contact off the dribble to get like an under control shot compared to like just trying to beat a guy and being out of control. I do like that from him. The 4 assists with 1 turnover on a night where we had a negative assist to turnover ratio as a team. It wasn't Tamani's fault. So really good game from him.
Yeah, I feel like we have to. I don't know if running a set for Tamani or like what. I don't know what we have to do when he's shooting well. Though I feel like there's got to be a way to get him a couple more shots or like get him a 3 coming off a screen or something. I don't know. I know that's not really his game, but yeah, felt like he should have maybe gotten a few more shots tonight because he was one of the few guys actually hitting.
Oh, I was muted.
Yeah, muted.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. He's been really, really solid offensively lately. Let me go to his game log. So the last 5 games, he's had at least 16 points every game. For the last 4 games, he's made at least 3 threes every game. He had a 6 assist game with 2 turnovers, a 2 assist game with 1 turnover, a 1 assist game with 2 turnovers, and a 4 assist game with 1 turnover the last 4 games. In 5 games ago was the game where he was 7 for 7 for 17 points. So he's been that's the thing that kind of sucks about these 3 losses is like he's stepped up and provided more of an offensive boost than we're used to. Yet all of a sudden, we have a 3-game losing streak. The first time we've lost 3 games in a row since Christmas time, basically. It's been a whole month. So it kind of sucks that they're not able to win these games when Tamani's stepping up and having a good offensive contribution.
Yeah, for sure.
And then who's
the last starter? Jrue Holiday.
Oh yeah, well, he's been good in limited minutes since coming back, but second night of back to back, like I don't know, is that the reason why he was terrible today? I don't know, but he was absolutely terrible. Funny thing is, he was the biggest positive in terms of plus minus in the starting lineup. So that's why you take plus minus with a grain of salt because he was 2 for 14 with 5 assists, 3 turnovers. 2 for 14 is disgusting.
0 for 4 from 3, 1 of 3 from the free throw line. Why was he taking that technical shot?
I don't know. What's the true shooting percentage on that? Trevin, what's the true shooting percentage on 2 for 14 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, and 1 for 3 from the free throw line? Trevin will calculate it for us because I'm curious. It might be below 20%.
Yeah.
18.7% is my guess. Maybe that's a little too low. I don't know. But yeah, just brutal game from him.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he was probably due for a really bad game. 16.3.
Not this bad. 16.3, yeah. He was due for a bad game, but this was beyond bad.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's tough, man. I don't know if he necessarily took many bad shots or whatever. It's just, fortunately, he just wasn't making them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to add. He missed basically everything. We'll go through these pretty fast.
Tough game from him.
We're not going to stream 2.5 hours like last night.
Yeah.
Repair did some stuff today. Tamani and Repair did offensive stuff today, and you lose to the Wizards, man. And Shaden had a good shooting game. Like, this loss is pretty inexplicable. Well, it is able to be explained with the free throws and the turnovers. 10 points for Repair, 4 for 6 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3. He had 6 rebounds. He had 5 steals in 19 minutes. It's funny how we talked about this dude like the last few games where he has Tony Snell stat lines and then out of nowhere, 10 points, 5 steals, 6 boards. That's Repair. Repair is the new, like, in a different way, he's what I said about Caleb Love earlier in the season, where like 1 out of every 5 games, so like do something, and then he just is unplayable the other 4 games essentially. This was the one game where he did something, so that was cool. But
man, I think it was in that second quarter we couldn't do anything, and he like was our offense for like a couple minutes. Like, he was he was really good in the first half. I like seeing him pumped up into the game, making plays on defense, creating turnovers and stuff. That was good. Yeah. Also, I thought maybe what would happen if we closed with him on the floor tonight?
Oh, man. The thing is if he doesn't do anything or makes one mistake, then it's really easy to go and be like, Tiago, why the hell were you playing him in crunch time? But He was one of our top players. Like, I wouldn't have hated playing him over Jeremy or who, like, yeah. Which is just insane. That's how weird this game was. So shout out to Repair for doing some things today. And then, what'd you think of our guy, Caleb Love? He had 6 points, 2 for 8 from the field in 17 minutes. Didn't really do much.
2 for 4 from the free throw line.
2 for 4 from the free throw line. This is coming off of the last game where he's 5 for 14 from the field and 1 for 7 from 3.
Yeah.
And it coincides with his minutes getting cut. Like, this was the fewest minutes he's played since December 20th.
Yeah, a little bit of that, though, is he wasn't playing well, so.
Yeah.
I don't know, he came in, had a nice finish on a fast break, and I think that was early in this game, right?
Yeah.
And then, definitely did not do much the rest of the game. Just didn't have any sort of impact.
Yeah, which players are going to have those games once in a while. I mean, look at
especially
Drew
two-way
today,
players.
So, I'm not going to overthink it I'm not going to overthink it. Just 2 for 8. It would have been nice if he made a couple more shots. Would have been the difference in this game, but you can apply that to literally anybody. Jeremy, 6 points, 3 for 10 from the field, 4 rebounds. He was 0 for 5 from 3. This is the second straight game for Jeremy where... Oh, no, that was 2 games ago. But the last 4 games for Jeremy Grant, he is 2 for 18 from 3. 2 for 18 from 3. The last 4 games, he is 13 for 38 from the field. 13 for 38 is about 34%, 34.5%, something like that. So the last 4 games, he's 34 to 35% from the field, and he's 2 for 18 from 3, which is like 9%. So really, really rough stretch from Jeremy the last 4 games.
Is that good?
No, man. In he had 16 then 22 when he came back. But, I mean, since coming back on the month, essentially, he's shooting 41% from the field, 29% from 3. So maybe he's still knocking the rust off. But since coming back, it kind of is feeling a little bit more like Jeremy of last year. Where before the injury, he was absolutely great. So I don't know what to make of it, but he has to play better than he has the last 4 games. Against Boston, he was fine because he got to the free throw line a ton, but he was 10 for 15 from the free throw line. Like, not great.
Yeah. Now everyone wants to trade him again.
Prisoner of the moment, man. Prisoner of the moment.
I mean, he is also coming back from injury, but yeah, he's got to get going at some point again. Yeah. Sissoko was awful.
Sissoko we're not going to talk about. He had 1 steal, 1 foul in 15 minutes, was 0 from the field. I'm starting to go back to like, okay, maybe we don't need to put him on the main roster. Maybe he is a 2-way player.
Yeah.
Like lately, some of these stretches of games that he's had, brutal. Brutal. He's played 40 minutes. He played 40 minutes the last 2 nights and has 4 points. In his last 73 minutes, his last 3 games, he has 7 points. And he's 2 for 11 from the field. It's funny because when you're starting and playing more minutes, he was more consistently having an impact and like not hurting us in games. And then now you look at these 3 losses and just like, wow, City Sissoko playing is really screwing this team over, even though he's playing less. It's kind of strange. Like when he was playing more, he was hurting the team less. When he's playing less, he's hurting the team more.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a 3-game. He played 33 minutes 3 games ago, so I guess, it's not even that he's playing that much less. But he needs to be better. I mean...
Sissoko has 8 games left of it.
Yeah. I don't think you have to put him on the main roster.
No. Well,
Caleb Love, sure.
I mean, if you don't get guys back soon, you almost... Like if Thibault and Chris Murray and stuff don't come back and we don't make a move, we almost have to, though, just to have a forward off the bench.
Yeah. True. The last player was a team high plus 11. That, of course, is Young Hansen.
Yeah.
6 points in 12 minutes, 2 for 6 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, had 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover. I guess when the rest of the team is missing every free throw and turning over the ball every time they try and do anything, then it's possible for Young Hansen to come in and actually be the guy that doesn't look like he's making rookie mistakes. It was just a very backwards game. So shout out to him. Was this his best game, his best NBA game?
I don't know if it was his best NBA game, but I mean, he certainly didn't hurt us on the floor tonight. Obviously, 2 for 6 isn't great, but you'll take everything else. I actually thought his 1 turnover, if I'm thinking of the play right, there was someone who was open. He had his man like kind of sealed if he did it right. I forgot who it was, and he just Young let him like. If he would have gone to the basket, it would have been an easy 2 points, and the guy just never even saw it, and it was Tamani. But that's like, if you can someday like figure that out, I always go back to like the Andre Miller, Marcus Camby with the Marcus Aldridge. Like Aldridge never spun to the basket, and then. All of a sudden with those guys, they taught him how to, when the guy's overplaying you, to spin toward the basket, and they throw that lob to him, and it was an easy 2 points. So if you can like learn that all you have to do is seal your guy and Young will throw it over the top and you can easy baskets. I think that just takes time to like play with someone and learn that like, oh wow, that's something we can do. Because Tamani definitely wasn't looking for that, but I thought it was there. I don't know if you're watching it back or not, but it is. I didn't really hate that kind of turnover. It was kind of like what we were talking about last night when he saw something and thought he could make a play, and the guy just wasn't anticipating it. But yeah, I didn't think he played terribly tonight. Did a pretty good job on the boards, and yeah, not to lose his minutes is a good thing.
Yeah, I like the tip in, the spinning hook shot was cool. I will say, like, even that hook shot he made, there's times where I feel like he could easily get to a shot like that, but then like will pivot 3 times just to get to the same shot that he already had.
Yeah. Yeah, it can just be like a turn and hook. It doesn't have to be
like he had that. Yeah, like he had that shot and then like had to do a spin with it. You know what I mean? Which is cool that you're able to do that. But I think sometimes you see him get into trouble when he like tries to pivot too much, do too much near the middle of the floor, where other defenders can kind of like poke at the ball and dislodge the ball and that sort of thing.
Well, I think on the hook shot he made, like it seemed like he was looking to pass, and then in the last second he was like, "Oh wait, I can shoot this," and made it. But like I think when he went to spin, like he was looking to the corner to pass or for that guy to cut or something. But
if his first read needs to be if he's 5 feet or closer to the rim, and he can get up that hook,
yeah, just do it.
Just do it
every time.
Yeah. Like, make him guard you first. About
clinging, right?
Yeah, like, make him guard you first and then make the right pass, make the kick-out pass, whatever. Because, like, he can make that shot, it seems like, right? And he just needs to play confidently off of that. If you're guarded where it's going to be contested, all right, sure, then pass it out. But, like, there's times where he's looking to pass and he has a wide open, like, 4 to 5 foot little push shot or hook shot that he should be shooting. And that's just where, you know, he's a rookie. So, like, and he's an unselfish player. He likes to pass the ball. So, as he matures, like, hopefully he'll be better about picking his spots in that regard. Because, I mean, the hook looked nice. I was confident when he shot it, you know? So, just if that's there and it's not contested, like, if you're not being guarded, make him pay. That's the attitude he needs to have. And then if they are guarding you, then look for a teammate when you're that close to the rim.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that is all the players from today. Let's do a Tankathon. Yeah. Tankathon is back. We're so back, man. This loss bums me out so much. This loss bummed me out like maybe more than any loss this entire year.
It just sucks. Like every time we feel like we're turning the corner and we can start talking about the standings and all this stuff, and then now we're talking about the reverse standings again.
Yeah, we're still only 3 games behind Golden State, but like, dude, we'd be tied with them if we just won these last 3 games. You know what I mean? Which I guess you're not going to win every game, right? But I have a feeling these losses are going to hurt at the end of the year. The Wizards loss especially. The other 2 teams are solid teams, so you can understand that. But the Wizards loss, man. Hopefully that's not haunting us at the end of the year. All right, let's I almost simulated it. I'm not even on the page yet. All right. We're tied for 12th best odds, by the way, with Atlanta, so we'll see. At 14, we have Chicago. At 13, we have San Antonio via Atlanta. At 12, we have Portland. At 11, we have OKC via the Clippers, thank goodness. At 10, we have Dallas. At 9, we have Memphis. At 8, we have Charlotte. At 7, we have Milwaukee via New Orleans. That's a new one. Milwaukee via New Orleans, Eric.
What does that mean?
That means Milwaukee's pick jumped up into the top 4. Well, it means 4 teams jumped up in the top 4. That's kind of crazy, but this is the first time we've seen Milwaukee's pick jump up in the top 4 and the New Orleans pick fall out of the top 4. So the thing is, I think this was originally Milwaukee's pick, so it'd be really funny on lottery day, like you're expecting Milwaukee's pick to remain with Milwaukee, right? At 7, and Milwaukee's logo comes up, but it's not actually their own pick. It's from New Orleans. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
6 is Washington. 5 is Indiana. 4 is Milwaukee to Atlanta. There you go. 3 is Brooklyn. 2 is Sacramento. And the first overall pick goes to Utah.
All right, Utah, congrats.
Utah finally gets a number 1 overall pick. Darren Peterson, Keontae George backcourt.
I don't know. Their owner donated, if not all, a good portion of the NIL to get Dybonsa to go to BYU. So
True. It'd be really interesting if they got the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Dybonsa's going to BYU. Huh. And then Sacramento finally gets lucky in a draft. Utah takes Dybonsa and they get Peterson. Although, watch Peterson always be injured then because he ends up in Sacramento.
yeah.
I like Peterson's my clear, maybe not clear number 1, but he's my number 1. I'm still debating on who's 2 between Boozer and Dybonsa.
Mm-hmm. I think it's Dybonsa, I think, has higher upside, but Boozer has a much higher floor and is just so consistently good. He's so good.
Who would you take if you're Sacramento?
If Peterson went 1.
Yeah.
If I'm Sacramento, I think I'm swinging for the potential.
That's funny because if I'm Sacramento, I would
you've gone
rather
opposite.
have they miss so much in the draft, and they're at the start of probably a 5-year rebuild, right? They're gonna have plenty of picks near the top of the draft to swing on guys. I kind of like the idea of getting a guy that can still be a star, but bare minimum, I see him being a very, very good starter. Just kind of a stabilizing prospect to start your rebuild is kind of what I feel like they need. So
they turns into their Bagley at number 2, and then just Dybonsa at 3. Yeah, there you go.
I think the league has gotten. Maybe the league has gotten better, or it's been harder to draft bust top 5 because skill matters more than everything. Bagley was mobile 4 that could hypothetically shoot the 3, but had some question marks there, and then could do a little bit off the dribble, but he wasn't a playmaker. He wasn't particularly skilled as a prospect, right? I don't know. It seems like there hasn't been as many. I think in today's day and age, Doncic would be the number 1 overall pick. If you had the same class come along now, I think Doncic would be the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
I don't see a center with motor questions that can't shoot threes going ahead of somebody that's 6'8" and skilled like Doncic. So, yeah, I mean, maybe that could be their Bagley, but AJ Dybonsa could be their Ben McLemore. You know?
Yeah. Yep.
Or maybe they select Braylon Mullins and that's their Nick Stauskas. I don't know. They could go wrong with anybody they ever choose. It's Sacramento. Yeah. Everything could go wrong for them. But I just like the high floor. Okay, we're going to nail a piece of our core down and go for the high floor guy, even though he doesn't have the upside of a Dybonsa. For other teams, I'd take Dybonsa over Boozer. But that's the fun thing about this draft is you got elite prospects where it's debatable based on team need at the second overall pick, which normally it isn't, but that's how close these two guys are. Normally it's just there's a clear-cut 2 or a clear-cut 3. It kind of reminds me of the Banchero, Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren draft, but all 3 of these prospects are better.
Man, I think Kingston Flemings is good for Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think Caleb Wilson fits with Indiana. I mean, maybe they go a big man there if they don't get one at the deadline, but
we need to combine this class with what we thought of the Bankero, Chet, Jabari class, like where we think we would have slotted those guys in without hindsight.
Yeah.
I probably would have had this top three, and then Bankero, Chet, Flemings, Caleb Wilson, Jabari.
I would have the three from this draft still the top three.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without hindsight, I mean, I had Jabari higher, so I guess I would have him 4 probably, but
Maybe I had him higher than Bankero, though. I know I had my reservations about Jabari, like ever being able to be a star caliber player. Which right now I feel like he's still young. There's still time, but like the like way he moves, just like how he's kind of stiff off the dribble. Like he hasn't really translated into a shot creator. All that.
Yeah, he's more of a 3-and-D player. Yeah,
it was like fine role player, but the thought was like he can shoot like this and then put the ball on the floor at like 6'10" and move, and the like put the ball on the floor stuff just didn't really translate up, which was my concern with him. Meanwhile, Chet ended up in a perfect situation. You know what I mean? Like if Jabari ended up in OKC, he would probably be thought of as better than he is in Houston. I feel like.
Yeah,
because he would get a little bit more offensive role, but they have all these great defensive players in their system. Like that's the thing is where you land matters. Is Avdalis a Denny? No, Avdalis is not he's not fast like Denny. He's smooth, and he has solid feel, can pass a little bit, but he shoots like a lot of mid ranges too, unlike Denny. So I don't think Denny's a great comp for him. Chet overpaid Holmgren. Yeah, man. I mean, second best player on a championship team. Shouldn't make a max. You're right. That has to be a trade.
Yeah, I mean, Tristan says some crazy stuff, but dude, they won a championship. You can't call anyone on that team overpaid. Like they got it done, and they're most likely going to win again this year.
You're forgetting J-Dub. Chet's better than J-Dub.
This year he's been. I mean, obviously J-Dub was.
But like the last 2 years, OKC, I saw some stat like OKC's better without J-Dub than with him.
Yeah, I know. I think a little bit of that is just him being injured and coming back from injury and stuff, but
yeah. But I mean, Chet's like their. I mean, he plays next to Hardenstein, but he's their defensive anchor. Like he does a ton for them defensively, and then he's a tough matchup on the other end of the floor. J-Dub's a really good defender too. Like last year, J-Dub was probably better, but this year Chet's been better.
I mean, it's a great problem to have if they're fighting over those two guys, your second and third best player.
Yeah. Yeah. But the question is, who would you take right now between Chet and Paulo? If you could just like start a team by choosing one of those two guys, who would you take?
If you're like an established team or like the Blazers, or are you talking about
like just like from scratch, just like the player that you would rather have in any situation for the rest of their career, like as of today?
I don't think there's a wrong answer. Man, I don't know. I think you're fine with both of them. I mean, you still need probably a number one, but
I don't know if Paulo. last season was pretty good, but the struggles this year, like, I'm a little bit biased. I'd take Chet, but I think there's an argument to be had for either. But I'd take Chet.
Oh, I thought you asked if you would take J-Dub or Chet.
No. Chet or Banchero.
Okay. I'm taking Chet over Banchero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chet or Banchero. Yeah. Man, shout out to remember the Blazer fans telling me, oh, he's a white American big from Gonzaga. There's no way he'll be good.
Well, I mean, Klingon's been good too, so.
Yeah.
Kind of put a.
Yeah. Although, maybe Klingon's starting to feel it lately. I don't know. He's been a little rougher lately, but I mean, I'll take 13 offensive rebounds from him. Somebody wants us to talk trades. I mean, we talked about it last night. There hasn't really been anything new. I guess we didn't talk a whole lot about the Drew to New York stuff, unless I completely forgot.
We did talk about it, yeah.
We talked a little bit about it, but like, OG, is that possible? Like, maybe a trade where we are the team that gets Cat? I don't know. I don't know, man.
The only reason New York wants to trade for Drew is because they want Giannis, and
go get him yourself.
They can't get Giannis without the Bucks picks, and once again, I don't think there's anyone on New York worthy of giving the Bucks picks up for. I mean, we did go through all the other teams.
I hope Dame and Drew have been recruiting Giannis or trying to recruit him for the past couple of months, because if Giannis comes out and is like, I want to go play with my former point guards and Dame and Drew, or go to New York, or go to Miami, like, I think we win the bidding war without having to trade Denny.
Yeah. Well, I guess it just comes down to the Bucks could be stupid and think maybe they think getting Cat and someone else instead of their picks is gonna keep them relevant, so they don't have to tank or whatever. But that just increases the value of our pick, so I'm all for that.
Yeah, like fine, but
I could see the Bucks doing that. They seem like the type of team that would be dumb enough to trade for like Cat and Mikal Bridges and think they're going to make the playoffs still and not have to worry about that.
Yeah, and just prolong their suffering. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I argued a little bit with Sam Quinn on Twitter. He was like throwing out trade packages that he said he wouldn't take, but it was like $2 picks for Mikal, $2 picks and Grant for Mikal. But then he had a tweet today like, the more I think about it, the more I'm coming around to like Portland actually being the team that could trade for Giannis, and his fit there would be good. It's like finally somebody actually thinks, all right, the Bucks might want their Bucks picks back from Portland. Maybe Portland could be the team that just trades for Giannis in a 2-team trade. Like, keep it simple, yeah? Because everything is just like convoluted. Nobody even brings up the possibility that Portland would even consider trading for him. And I get it. He can opt out after next year, so it'd be really risky if you didn't have some level of confidence that he would resign. But man, you have Dame, you have Drew, you have their picks. Like, Scoot's still I think, good enough young prospect to intrigue a team like Milwaukee. Take other pieces, but you got the Magic pick. You can trade 1 or 2 of your own. Like, that's a ton of draft capital, including 3 picks of their own and Scoot. Like, that's already a good starting package if you're one of the few teams he wants to go to. So I don't know, man. Like, I think it's a greater than 0% chance, which I mean doesn't really say much, but I wouldn't expect it, of course. I don't think it's likely. I think it's very unlikely that Giannis ends up getting traded to Portland, but I do think there is some chance that the stars can align here. I mean, I feel more confident that I'll put it this way. I feel more confident that they could make a play to bring Giannis to Portland then I would have felt confident going into last offseason that Dame would be a Blazer at the start of this season. I'll put it that way. Like, that's how I'll frame it. But Dame's a Blazer, so yeah, I don't know.
Also, the Blazers can't trade their first this year, so with Giannis being hurt right now, there's a scenario where we don't make the playoffs. You know, who knows if we got lucky in the lottery, but get lucky in the lottery and move up and get Giannis and keep our pick this year and add a player like Peterson for shooting or something.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be crazy. But worst case scenario, we'd still have like the 12th or 13th or 14th pick or something. And or we make the play in barely, but we get Giannis back and for the play in or something, and man, that'd be cool. But
I feel like we'd trade our pick this year, like if it's between 1 and 14, we'd word something like that. But
I don't think
the step in, well, we'd have to figure it out with Chicago because
I mean,
because we know the following year's.
Obviously,
pick.
we change the protections on that one. It would.
Yeah, you're right. Because then, if it was 1 to 14, then we'd be trading it away, and then also we wouldn't have next year's, and we don't have any other picks. So yeah, it would violate the step-in rule. So yeah, that's our pathway to Giannis and Darren Peterson. So that's cool.
But yeah, people are saying in chat that the Spurs are emerging for Giannis and that the Blazers would be involved with sending picks back. Kirk, is that the rumor? So I was curious if anyone had heard a rumor of what would be.
Would you trade the Bucks picks for Stephon Castle?
I think the Blazers would.
That would be fun, man. I don't know, but
I mean the shooting.
I've been a Castle fan though.
The freaking shooting.
Yeah, but he can learn how to shoot, I hope.
No, dude.
Well, if Klingon's a stretch 5, if everybody else can shoot, you got Denny at the 4, he can shoot. You got Dame, he can shoot. You got Drew, he can shoot.
I mean, I guess we have Dame, but right. But.
Yeah, for next year, you hope Klingon takes another step as a shooter. Like you rework the bench a little bit, but I mean, you'd have Sharp and Scoot off the bench.
Castle's really good. I wouldn't mind it normally.
All-star, like at some point.
I'm just saying, I'm so over the guys who were like, "Oh, he can learn to shoot." I'm just like, no, man, we need actual freaking shooters. Like maybe if we added some actual shooting.
He averages 17, 7, and 5, 7 assists at the age of 21 with really, really good defense. I would probably trade the Bucks picks for him, and just like hope that
it might be an option.
Shot. Like, who would you? Here's a question.
Well, here's the thing.
Who would you rather have? Chat, Amen or Castle? I feel like most people are going to say Amen, but I think it's a little bit more debatable than that.
I think I'd take Amen. I mean, he can't shoot either, but
yeah, I have a little bit more faith in Castle learning how to shoot than Amen, but statistically they're quite similar this year. I think Amen's a little better defender, but Amen's also 2 years older.
You'd rather have Castle than Harper? Even though Harper struggled lately.
Probably.
I didn't ask if he was on the table. Come on. I'm just asking. Let's say they gave us the option.
I might prefer even a Sar than Castle. No way. Come on. Castle right now, he's 11 points per game, 6 boards, 3 assists.
The thing
Castle's 17 points, 7 assists, 5 boards.
The thing you have to realize with Castle and players like that, it's then it comes down to what do the Bucks want? Would they rather have Castle? Because then they don't need us. They don't need their picks back if they
Oh yeah, but
they get a good young player to build around.
if they're like, we want our, we want our picks back, like getting Castle now would be great, but we have no way of really improving the team and building with him over the next 5 years. Like, we'd rather be patient, have our picks back, and like slowly build and rebuild. You know.
Well, if I'm the Bucks, I'd like this is gonna sound weird, but I'd want Harper over Castle. Like I feel like that would be a good player to like start your rebuild around, but I don't know, man. Maybe you can get him to include the Spurs to include him since he's been struggling, but
yeah.
because a lot of people are down on Harper right now.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation. It was always a weird situation with them drafting Castle and being the rookie of the year before, them trading for Fox the year before, and then adding another guard to there that's like a top prospect. It's kind of similar to if we would have not traded Dame and had Scoot, like hinder him versus being on a team where he's like the guy from day one or has the ability to run the offense where he's not getting that right now in the Spurs.
Yeah. I don't know, but like you, he could potentially be a number one guy on like a winning team someday as like a creator, playmaker, scorer, defender, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think he has a chance one day to be like a top 15 to 20 player in the league. So, if you want a guy that can help you compete with Dame right away, but then also post Dame, like, you still have Scoot. You could hypothetically play Castle with the three if Scoot and Sharp like pan out as the backcourt of the future, right? You could play Scoot, Sharp, Castle, Denny, Klingon, Tamani off the bench, like. So I really like that moving forward, but maybe if you like move off Scoot or Scoot doesn't pan out or whatever, like Castle could maybe be your point guard. Castle plus Denny is, your primary ball handlers. I just like the fit if Klingon can shoot, and I do have some hope that he'll become somewhat consistent. I don't know, like that's kind of the thing is you want Klingon to be able to shoot and then some shooting off the bench to make sure that that's not an issue. Like preferably Castle would be the worst shooter in your lineup, but there is the chance that he can figure out his shot and get to like 35%. So, like, yeah, I mean, I would do it. Chat, would you do it? Say yes or no in the chat. Oh, Dylan Brooks got into it with Yegor Demon or Jolman. However you're supposed to say his name. Yegor pushed Dylan Brooks over two people laying on the floor because Dylan Brooks was like trying to yank the ball out of somebody's hands, like post whistle. Atta kid. Good job, Rook. I love it. I'm a Yegor fan. Dylan Brooks just laid there on the floor for 10 seconds. Anyway, lots of fights across the league. I thought we were maybe going to get one with Sar and Klingon for a second there, but Fears was like
more
pissed off
interesting
in
than
the
this game.
tunnel. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Castle intrigues me more than Mikhail. Obviously, like.
Yeah.
And you would trade like Thibault for him.
Yeah, that's the other thing. His contract is we could get him for one of our lower guys. Yeah.
But the whole thing with the Spurs has been like they don't want to trade Castle or Harper, and they've been a team that has been conservative in the past that wouldn't shell out a ton for a guy like Giannis, it seems like. But also Giannis's fit with Wemby is insane.
Yeah. So do they just go for it, or do they?
Like I guess the way you'd guard that team is you put a big on Giannis and a smaller guy on Wemby, and then try and force Wemby downhill towards the big who doesn't have to step out on Giannis. I guess that's how you defend that. So like if you're OKC, you'd put
drop on Giannis.
You'd put Chet. You'd put Chet on. Well, I mean, Chet and Hartenstein can both protect the rim, but like you'd put Hartenstein on Giannis and Chet on Wemby and. Yeah, something like that. Like in the Blazers' case, you'd put Denny on Wemby and then Klingon on Giannis, and let Giannis try and attack Klingon, and then let Klingon hang out around the rim for helping on Giannis. Like, so maybe the fit wouldn't be as crazy as I think. It's just like two physical specimens like that, and then having a stretch five next to Giannis has always proven to work. I don't know. But trade deadline's coming up, and I have no idea what to expect. Like, it does. Normally, we don't get anything involving the Blazers, but the whole Giannis thing and the Blazers having the Bucks picks kind of just naturally inserts the Blazers in these conversations, and it's
right.
It's a little weird, man, to be like talked about like this.
Just do not give up those picks for just to help facilitate a trade. That's not someone that's an absolute game changer for us.
Yep. Absolutely agree. All right, so coming up, we will have a post game after the Blazers take on the Knicks, and then I'll have to get out the February schedule. So that's a tough opponent. You've lost 3 in a row. Try not to lose 4, man.
Yeah,
I don't want to start losing 4 games in a row again, man.
Maybe they're going to trade for Mikal on Thursday just to screw the Knicks over in that one game. So
yeah, they're gonna time it. No, I would not trade the Bucks swaps for Jaren Jackson Jr. Anyway, yeah, we'll have that post game on Friday. Hope to see you there. Anything else, Eric?
Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for hanging around while we had stuff to do, and for watching this back. Leave a comment on what you think of Blazers trading for Castle for those Bucks picks, and hope everyone has a good night, good Thursday, or good Wednesday and Thursday, and hope to see you guys Friday night.
Yep. We'll see if the Blazers can turn things around and beat the Knicks after losing to the Wizards. This game freaking sucked. Should never lose to the Wizards, but this team shot itself in the foot. 13 for 23 from the free throw line, 20 turnovers. Not pretty. Hopefully they can turn things around. We're out of here. Have a good rest of your night. Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.